Okay, this is part 2. If you didn't get part 1, just go to youtube.com/thankyouwhitenights. This is about how we can bring about a positive change. You know, people trying to do it, and how to maintain your centre, not getting caught up in the conflict. Now, this shiftinaction.com is quite good. It's got Dr. Bruce Lipton on there. For $10 a month subscription, you can, I think the first month's free. It was about a year ago. I downloaded a heap of stuff. I haven't continued my subscription, but I'm considering doing that again. It's got heaps of people on there. Dr. Dean Radin, Bruce Lipton, I think Greg Braden's on there, Dr. John Hagelin, that I like, Lynn McTaggart, really good. And that's from the Institute of Noetic Science. I think the website might be ions.com, but anyway, that's Ion's website, but shiftinaction.com is the one for that. Highly recommend it. And the whole thing about what I'm trying to do is, since I can't make any changes, you know, with people individually, you know, there's only so much you can do with people individually. If they're not open to something, there's no use trying to force the matter, because they just become more and more closed, and can become more and more closed and stubborn. So you have to surrender to their wishes and their free will. So take a step back and get connected yourself through listening to, like what I'm listening to, as I said in part 1. I also like to listen to HoloSync. It's quite good. The Dive, that particular one. Now, the reasons why, what's helped me get to this point is this understanding that you need to sort of stand back. And I've read, you know, I went into that whole personal development thing with certain network marketing companies, and Stephen Covey was really good with 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of his sayings was, give a person a fish and you feed them for a day. Show them how to fish and you feed them for a lifetime. So, I mean, how that relates, I mean, it seems a very thin line, if you can even understand it. But there's another saying that was called, be the change you want to see. So, I mean, it sounds a bit selfish, but you have to look after yourself first in order to help other people. So, if you keep your centre, other people can see that peace and your connection with a higher, you might say the Creator, and God or love, all the same thing, unified field, and that will flow out. The Science of Peace is actually showing this in the not Global Coherence Project, but the EGGS, the Global Consciousness Project, which I'll put links up for on more info. If you click on more info to the right of this screen. Yeah, so I think the website was Noosphere or No-O-Sphere. There was also other things that were done that Greg Braden gets into. But since him, firethegrid.org, that was a whole thing that was connected with coasttocoastam.com. Also, coasttocoastam.com, like through, can't think of his name now, the guy who started it up, and he's sort of taken a back seat now to George Norrie, who's looking after it. But he did lots of experiments, had people pray rain, and it rained that hard that it flooded. In the US, what else? Just, I think, healings they did. This is related to the intention experiment. I mean, Lynn McTaggart and Greg Braden and everything that I'm talking about, basically. So, another thing I've been looking at is how to help people without actually getting in their face, is, so to speak, is, like, I try to do it through agriculture and through composting on a massive scale. Found conflict there, so I had to look after myself and do something I enjoy, and that's why I'm, now moved up here for the environment, the lifestyle. So now, but now, what can I say? So what I've actually done is taken a leaf out of the GFL's book, which is, I mean, the way that they're trying to help us is from a distance. They have minimum contact only with those that rise for the occasion. I mean, James Gilliland goes on about it, Sheldon Neidle. I've had a couple of friends who have been contacted. I haven't been myself that I know of, other than that the UFO interaction on the way to James Gilliland's place in 2006. But I've had two friends, one up here, and one, the lady I was talking about down south, she said with the theta healing that, I mean, they were both vegetarians. Dr. Fred Bell's a vegetarian. I don't know about James Gilliland, but it seems to be you. Dr. Fred Bell said you've got to be they don't like our auric stench if we're a meat eaters, so maybe that's got something to do with it. So I've been looking at this raw food diet. So, I mean, I became a veggie back in 2000 for about 4 months. It didn't seem to work for me at that time, and I haven't tried it since. I've been doing the Sally Fallon diet and low carb diet. But anyway, that's another thing. That's another way of actually keeping yourself feeling good. Is, like, there's actually been found that, through, like, the Atkins diet, he's actually found that it helps with certain receptors in the brain by eating all these proteins and amino acids, helps you feel good. And the the good feeling, hormone release. Now, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to get into for now. I'm coming up to time. Yeah, but I did get it back into new ways. I come across resistance when I first started learning about, food and health and farming back around 10 years ago. Actually, I probably started learning about farming and compost back around 91, 92. So, and then food around 98. And the whole politics of cancer therapy. After that, with New Dimensions on abc.net.au, Well, New Dimensions is also a radio show from California. I think it's newdimensions.com or .org. Quite interesting programs I used to listen to back then about all sorts of this whole stuff. Another interesting guy on shiftinaction.com, which was also on New Dimensions, was, I'm trying to think of his name. He gets into the morphogenic field. I'll just get him. Okay, that was Rupert Sheldrake. RUPERTSHELDRAKE. He talks about the morphogenic field and this, the experiments he did with dogs. Quite interesting. Anyway, if you want more from me, just go to youtube.com/thankyouwhitenights.